Todd Medina, SoulogyOneStudios. What's going on here? Democracies, aristocracies, oligarchies, monarchies, hierarchies, presidents and popes. What's the real dope? What's this all about? Faith, hope, doubt? That's all that earth stuff, man. I am a multi-dimensional, high-vibrational, evolutionary being, and I'm tired of hiding it. I am soul. I don't care who or what tried or is trying to deceive us. Call it the devil or another's Messiah, prophet, or God. It's all the same to me. Whoever they are, they can never take our souls, and that's when we came here to learn. From the burn of being wrong, denying who we are, taking orders, lawless laws, a branded existence, but not anymore. I am divinity. Yeah.
Yay!
All right. The power we hold to mold the future, heavenly nirvana. From the inside, present, eternal. It's time to be a bolder flame. The game isn't the same. We are the spirit science synthesis, the action of conscious thought, alignment, transmuting to a living wisdom. Yeah. No longer dreaming the life, I am living the dream. You made it.
I made it. Technology is really something.
We got this.
Like coming through the birth canal here, you know.
All right, let me check and make sure the sound's okay. Hang
okay.
on. Then we'll formally roll the show out. I can see there's some people here, but the oh yeah, you're on your phone. Okay, hang on. Let me see here.
Yeah, my computer just crashed today. It's like
let's see.
Technology is really something.
Yeah, you're good. Okay, so we're good.
Good.
We're more than good. We got 16 people in the house. Law Stewart, Lynn Eubanks. Ivania's in the house. Gwen Jones, Angel Divine, Annette Lamos, Karen Starr, and Dave Woods. So we got 18 people to start. That's all right.
Nice. Yeah.
So let me formally roll the show out here.
Yeah.
Thank you for staying after me. those of the squeaky wheel always gets the grease, right? So but it's okay, it's good. I get messages all day long every day. People want to come on, and it's like, and they're like, it's just
yeah, I know you're very popular. I definitely had to message you a lot, but I think we're old soul friends, so excited to talk to you.
Yeah. Me too. Let me formally roll the show out. If you got some friends here, Sandy Elatus, how you doing? Terry Willette's in the house. Angela Williams in the house. So for those of you who don't know, my name's Todd Medina. This is the Soulogy Network, and this is our primary show. It's called SOULSPEAKS 5D. It's a conversation. It's not an interview. And today we have the Divine Goddess, Sara Adams is in the house with us, and she brought her guitar.
I wonder how the sound's going to be, but yeah, we'll try and see what we can do. I also have my crystal enchant lightly in case the guitar is kind of, distorted.
What's that? What's that? What'd you say?
Do you know if guitar sounds good over?
Do you have a set of headphones? No.
I do. Yeah. Hold on one second.
Is it the type that has the microphone? Okay. Yeah. Does it have a microphone?
No, I don't have the type that has the microphone.
Plug it in and let me see. Plug it in. Okay. Let me see.
Well, this one does have the microphone because it's a phone.
Yeah.
Phone
that type.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that type will pick it up. So what you're going to need to do is
we'll just try and see what we've got.
Yeah. It's all about having the courage to create. I know that the frequencies, vibrations, light, and sound and all that is going to kick in with us.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's see. You know what okay.
I have my crystal bowl too. How does that sound?
That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Hang on. I'm going to take you out for a second. I'm going to try something. Oh, that's good. That's real good. Okay, hang on. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see. I want to make sure. Okay, say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Keep going.
Hello, hello. We are
Yeah.
testing our audio here.
Yeah. I think it's going to be okay. And if it's not, we'll still make it work. Hello. There's a bunch of new people. Michael Avaha's in the house. Keith Allen Kay, Shelley Sullivan, Pamela Duran, Peter Terwan, Marcy Durost. Okay. So let's
Yay, Pamela.
let's get started. And you're up in Portland, Oregon, right? Isn't that where you're at?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, welcome
Yep.
to the show.
Portland, Oregon.
Thank you for sharing space with us, honoring us with your presence. I know you've been awake for a long time. I could get that vibration off of your page. So
yeah, 1983 was the
19
beginning of
Huh.
the beginning kind of the dark night of the soul through the underground wilderness to reclaim all my DNA. It began October 26th, 1983 at UCLA. It's a great place to trigger a nervous breakdown. It's like 40,000 people.
UCLA. Was it an acid trip?
Oops, your sound is breaking up.
Okay. I think
my
that's
signal's not so great.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so what happened in October 26, 1983?
Oh my gosh. Well,
it was an LSD.
it was the onset. It was the onset of, I would say, the divine feminine in the core of my being just started rushing through like a river and broke the dam of all my ego defenses and began taking back my soul from the non-loving matrix with her great bountiful love. So it was actually the cure, but it was a huge healing crisis that began on that.
Oh, really?
Huge.
Wow. Well, we don't need to get into all that. That's just part of the
Yeah,
story.
let's not get into that.
I know. I know,
Yes.
I mean, it's just the story.
Story.
It's just the story. It's just about where we're at and where we're going, right? So I noticed the other day, and we don't have to get into it, but I noticed the other day. Well, I was listening to you play the guitar, and you had said that the song was written like 5 years ago or something like that. So
right.
I thought that was kind of cool. That's one of the reasons I knew. Hello, Sandra Harmon Smith, my dear friend from Adelaide, Australia. But that's one reason I knew that, I don't know, the whole frequency and vibrations of the song. I just kind of got the idea that this woman's been awake for a long time. So, and you're also up in what is kind of a I don't know what, a progressive part of the country, right?
You do it. Huh?
Yeah. Do you spend a lot of time out there in nature, out in that part of the country? Because it's beautiful out there. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're freezing up a little bit, but we're okay.
Yeah, I live in a valley, right, and the signal down here is kind of. I'll do my say.
You're good. You're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're there. You're there. Okay. All right. We're going to make it. We're just going to push through it. We've got the help of the divine, and we're both divine human hybrid souls. So we have full God goddess capacity. So, hey, let me ask you this. For someone like you who's been woke for so long, what is these first 9 days of October been like for you? I mean, do you people that have been awake
Holy shit. Unbelievable. No. This has been been underworld levels of I mean it has been this Venus retrograde, coming into this Venus retrograde has been a whole new level. Because what we've been doing is we've been opening like this whole universal stargate and anchoring as the Earth, because the Earth is the disk of Andromeda, coming back and being reclaimed by the Divine Mother. But these first 5 days of October, the level of underworld, divine feminine, that's been held underground, and the major stargate for that is Iraq. Iraq is where the divine feminine is underneath this war transmission signal and blocked from Andromeda. The biggest block on the Earth is in Iraq. So I'm a matrix holder for Iraq. So the forgotten feminine, the dismembered feminine of the Earth, I live that archetypally. And I tell you, in October, the first 5-6 days, I didn't know if I was going to live or die.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
I threw pans. Huh? I made a dent in my stainless steel pan. I mean, I lost my witness. The level of underworld pain that was up was just huge. And it even after really moving through emotional body kind of mastery all these 35 years, October was my learning curve. You know what I mean? I was at the edge of what I could handle. It was insane.
I think a lot of people share that sentiment. I hadn't heard that explanation, but now I can kind of understand why I felt like the Kali goddess energy was coming after everybody. It was right. Yeah, it's like that whole. Well, it's that holy darkness, and that's not a bad term. That's like that darkness that loves you so much it's going to rip every shadow out of you at any cost whatsoever, right? So a lot of people are just waking up, and so when somebody says I'm a matrix or grid holder for that part of the world or whatever it may be, and you're talking about Iraq, and that's your role. You anchor that or monitor that or guard that. How does somebody like you come to understand that is what their role is?
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can go in my bedroom because our signal's getting screwed up again. Hold on. So
I didn't know you wanted to get that familiar.
Hold on. I'm gonna try and see if our signal's gonna.
Yeah, if you're on the house modem, I would just get as close to the house modem as you can.
Okay, Todd, hold on one sec. Let's see if we can do this. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you might want to move
close. So you
closer.
are frozen.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and go into the other room.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and go into the other
signal.
Let me say if everybody would
that's better right there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to my other room because it's just the signal's just sucking. So you asked me about how I know my role, my ascension. Yeah. So it's been a huge process really over these many years, and I got involved with Lisa Renee. Do you know who Lisa Renee is?
Oh yeah. What do you mean, on a personal level? Yeah, I know who she is. Everybody knows who she is.
Yeah. Well,
she's like
the mother. She's my peer. We are both peers as Galactic Council incarnate on Earth. And when we met, everything became clear who I was.
Does she live in that part of the country? How'd you meet her?
She used to live in Los Angeles, is where I live too. And I actually met her online. I saw some of her stuff from her website, and I just knew I was home. I mean, she and I are so similar. I mean, we're just from the same band of frontline starseed rehabilitators and Unity Logos holders. She just, we're made of the same thing. Yeah. And she taught me so much about why I'm here. I'm I'm an aquafairy human hybrid from Andromeda, and Andromeda is the divine mother for the Earth. The Earth's higher self exists in the Andromeda galaxy. So basically, I came here as to accompany the Earth through her ascension and to live as a human in this with this archetype of the dismembered feminine rising out of the night and into the light, and to be accompanying Gaia through her birth and live it with her kind of in lockstep, which is really my life is the Earth's life.
Wow.
That's the
Uh,
best way to say it.
like you're a physical representation, right? Let me just say real quick to everyone, we have an old friend in the house. Just
Yes.
quickly, let's form the circle of life and put in the center Donna Davin, who's been a big supporter for many years for us. She's been in the hospital. She said she's missed
Oh,
quite a
yes.
few. And if you'll all just join me together right now, it's in her peace, love, comfort, love, and light. Uh, so it is. We know everything is all right, because we're all divine human beings, and it's a perfect imperfection. But I hope you're feeling better, Donna, and we're all sending our love and comfort and peace to you. So
Yeah.
how long ago did you meet Lisa Renee?
2009, March of 2009. And up
Wow.
until then, I mean, I was really guessing at what the hell was happening to me on Earth. I met my twin flame in 1989, and he catapulted me into unity consciousness. It
Wow.
was a trip, right? It was like this. I've never taken LSD, but people told me I was acting just like I was on it.
I think you still are.
And then, so after I met my divine complement, I was really kind of, like I say, my whole DNA just went into this massive sacred marriage all the way up to I guess, the 12th strand. It was just like full on ecstasy. And then, of
Wow.
course, I crashed because he wanted polyamory. And I was like, okay, we're getting married, right?
I don't think polyamory applies to divine conscious union.
It didn't work.
Uh,
When he wanted polyamory, I just crashed. And so I had to know that somehow what I experienced with him was just a map,
yeah.
and that if I kept doing my clearing and doing my healing in linear time, sooner or later my DNA would bond, and more of my own ecstatic essence would begin to be experienced by me. But it's been a really long journey. In that instant when I was with him, it immediately like lit up everything. And so the dark night after that was super intense. But
Yeah.
that's what woke me up. Before him, I pretty much thought I was just a neurotic, super sensitive, hypoglycemic person with agoraphobia. I really didn't know about my galactic history until my divine complement. And that's when the gates
Well,
opened.
for anyone
Yes.
to find out any aspect at all of their galactic in the 80s or even the 90s, that's like, prehistoric, man. I
It
mean,
was 1990 when it all
that's what
opened.
I know. Shekinah Rose was around 92. I think, hell, I mean, Lisa Brown wasn't until like, I think 2008, so, but, yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I know, like for me, I woke up in summer 2011, and I didn't really field any galactic even possibilities. I never even thought about it till like 2015 after I met Morgan, because she walked in the door and she was straight ET, and I knew it. And I was like, okay, well, if she is, what does that make me?
Oh boy. Yeah, in 1983 when I was 18, I remember in my let's see, my 11th grade year, I took a trip to the Virgin Islands with my mom, and the panic attacks like started trickling in. Like I could feel that something was coming that was going to basically end my entire identity as I knew it. And I was bargaining. I was like, please let me graduate from high school.
Wow.
Just let me get my high school diploma before you take me. And whatever it is, my divine self said, okay, you get to graduate, but as soon as you start UCLA, we're taking you down. We don't have
Yeah.
time. You're going to have to be ready, because I had to be ready to participate in the lifting of a huge veil in March of 1995. So I had to get cracking. I had to
Yeah.
really start transforming fear at a very, very fast level to be able to be a veil lifter for the Mayan. It was a Mayan veil, which I signed up to lift that veil that was obscuring a lot of the divine solar feminine in
Mm.
1995 when I was in a Mayan, galactic Mayan off planet
Wow.
tribe.
That's long before you met Lisa Renee too, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
that was
So
the biggest work of my life, was lifting that veil.
wow.
And
So let me ask you this. Wow, this is awesome. So in that case, because I mean this is like the early 90s, right? How were you receiving, in what form were you receiving your communication from the universal? Was it galactic visitation? Were they materializing? Was it just a voice in your
that's a good
head?
question. I actually left LA to come to Portland because my shaman was here. And he had all my galactic history for me, literally rolled out in a book. I mean, he literally just told me, here's who you are, here's what you're doing. These are the dates when you might die because it's so intense. He basically,
Wow.
I mean, I was told when I was in Maui in 1995, March, I was told what's going to happen to you from March 20th to March 28th will determine whether you can do your mission on Earth. I mean, it was
Wow.
like no pressure here at
No pressure,
all.
but you might be exiting stage left, like the Pink Panther.
Exactly. And
So,
it was,
wow, that's
yeah,
powerful. Wow. So,
but
yeah,
I did it.
yeah, you did it and you're still doing it. And I think that's I think, we've never really talked about this. 600, this is, I think, the 606 show. We did 3 or 4 today. But, because, Judith Cassell, she does what she calls soul readings, which I think, for all intents and purposes, is probably the same type of thing, shamanic reading. And she's been on the show a couple times. She sent me, she offered to do mine. So she sent it to me and she sent me this message and she said, I want you to read this and I want you to read it again. And then I want you to read it again. And she said, and if you have any questions, I want you to wait 4 weeks before you ask me anything, because it's going to like trigger all this stuff. And I'm looking at this thing and maybe it's because I've had so many people on my path, particularly divine feminines. Actually, I think all of them kind of come in and tell me things. And I knew they aligned and I knew, how they pertained. And a lot of them had to do with my life, but then later on it expanded to my multidimensionality. But anyway, over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks, I started getting these transmissions and I'm like, I got to go back and look at this thing. And I'm looking at it and it's virtually the same thing she's telling me. So I think that's an important thing to point out to people. And we always have to rely on our intuition, but there are people there we're contracted with or know in our multidimensionality or whatever soul family that are here to guide us. And I think that's an important.
Yeah, and my shaman, he was actually told to leave Missoula, Montana, and he had a full career there. He had a wonderful radio show, metaphysical radio, and he had just he was full-time employed doing things he loved. He had a house, and he was told, you have a contract with someone who's coming from LA, and her life depends on you moving to Portland,
Wow.
and you're going to move now. So they made him sell his house. His whole career was gone. I mean, it was crazy. When he met me, he's like, you're the one. He was like, okay, who the heck are you? Because I've left, I left everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's and let me ask you, because, of all the people I've talked to, are you still there? Uh-oh, I think you froze up. If you can
Yeah.
hear me, okay, you're there. I was going to say, of all the people I've
Oops.
talked to,
All right.
you're all
Yeah.
right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. But of all the people I've talked to, no one's ever told me they met Lisa Renee. In fact, I've had people try to get in touch with her so we could try to get her on to the show. But, my understanding is she doesn't do any type of.
Super busy, and she's so deep in planetary
I know.
service that she's pretty much
Yeah.
out of external commission. She's holding so many gates open right now. She's, yeah, it's almost impossible. I never
Yeah.
talk to her personally anymore.
Yeah. I was going to say, I've never met anyone that's even met her, which is incredible. So you're definitely in that sisterhood. There's no doubt about it.
She is my sister. We've been mother, daughter, sister, cousin. We're on the Galactic Council in Sirius. We're on an Andromedan Council, a Sirius and planetary Elohim for Tiamat, Earth, Tara. All of we're guardians incarnate.
Absolutely. And like Lisa Brown says that, many of us are actually Galactic Council incarnated here. The council is
absolutely.
It's taking a conscious form here is a, they come together. So let me ask you, in that time period when UCLA through the mid 90s, how were you receiving your messages? Were they just a voice in your head? Were they just that, everyone gets it differently, you know what I mean? And I always find it interesting to find out.
Okay, let me think for a moment. I'm just going to sing a little bit because my heart's beating really fast, and I'm just going to sing a few codes into my heart.
Okay.
Okay. So
I've heard that before.
let me see. The question was, okay, how do I receive? Okay.
How did you in the early days?
In the early days, let's see. So there was Brad. I'm not going to say his name, Brad. I just said it. Sorry, honey. Okay, fine compliment. And that just blew open everything. I could hear, I could see auras. I wanted to just run naked through the wilderness and merge with everything that was alive in nature. I was, the doors of perception were blown open. And I was downloaded. It still does. Yeah. When I get my downloads, it's like 4:00 to 6:00 every morning. My poor husband has a full-time job, but but the downloads, it just pours out like massive information that's coming through the light, and I just turn on my phone and record it, and just record everything that's coming through in this massive download. In the early days, I read Bringers of the Dawn. That was one of the first books, Barbara Marciniak.
Yeah.
That helped me understand when I was in the Pleiadian Council. And that really brought my Pleiadian connection in. And then I got into, let's see, David Icke, David Wilcock, my buddies. They brought back so many downloads to me because I was with David Wilcock in my past life. I was with Corey Good in my past life. So memories of the secret space program, because I toured the secret space program. And I wanted to get in there and bust that motherfucker, but they threw me out. They said my DNA was too pure. I couldn't be programmed. So they threw me out. Thank God. I don't think I would have lived through it if I had had the fullness of my karma plus the secret space program. No, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
But so I'm trying to think. So books, a lot of books would fall off the shelf, right? Yeah. Read me. And I'd read them and I'd get more memories.
Yeah.
And
what about moving around like the country? Do you get triggered memories when you go to certain parts of the country or world? Yeah,
Yes, I do, definitely.
'cause that's what
Um,
happens to me. I'm just curious. I just recently realized that.
Especially when I hear, I don't even have to go, but when I hear Irish music,
Yeah,
I, the Irish, how can I say it? It's as if my star being is the intimations of my multidimensional being come through the star fields of Ireland more than anywhere else. I mean, I could just weep for years when I hear Irish music, when I
yeah,
remember, when I see a video of the green hills
yeah,
and the cliffs and the water. It's just unbelievable. That love.
yeah. I
Never
can, I
been there.
I can relate to that. I haven't either, but and this has gone on for years, long before I woke up. That used to do that to me. Van Morrison's music used to do it to me. And but recently, I got a lot of that over the last couple of weeks, and some of that was in the Judith Cassell soul reading, and it was regarding the high order, the high order of the bards, the druids, and then all this stuff came in, even like I think it was even yesterday and the day before, having to do with my history in, in secreting the codes through music and poems and sound and frequencies and vibrations, a lot like what I'm doing now. So, but I was going to ask you, and I want to make this point too. We started out the show asking you how were the first 5 days in October, and here you are, woke up in 1983, get a resurgence mid 95, meet Lisa Renee in the late 2010s, and yet you're still affected by the ascension energies. I mean, what's your take on that? If you can add anything to that.
Yeah. Well, I was reading, I was doing my meditation with Lisa Renee this morning, or that our big, let's see, the group, I'm part of the group of sort of the veterans of energetic synthesis, which is Lisa Renee's online community. And she told us this morning, or in the group, that the solar logos is coming through and re-encrypting the architecture of the earth right now. And that solar logos is being enhanced by Venus. So when we went into the Venus retrograde, that upstepped the level of purging, right? And it went right along with the Kavanaugh and Dr. Ford and the divine feminine, like really starting to come up from the underworld and claim her space. And this is
Yeah.
the end of the lunar feminine. This is the solar feminine
Wow.
rising, the Christed feminine rising to take its place. And these solar Christed codes are coming in and creating radical mutation in the mitochondria, which is where now the mitochondria is where the massacre occurred that took the earth from light to darkness, because that's the mother was ripped out of the mitochondria. And
And the
so,
mitochondria is the intricacies of the DNA, right?
yeah,
Is it
the
that?
DNA, RNA in the mitochondria, right? Because the cell has its own DNA, but the mitochondria has its own DNA. So that
Mm,
DNA, RNA in the mitochondria is what codes for light body. So if the negative aliens wanted to take over the planet and drop us into fear-based reality, they had to stop protein synthesis in the mitochondria, which is
yeah.
what they did. So our mitochondria is going through this huge rehabilitation where protein synthesis is now, being rehabilitated beyond the third dimension. Now that involves huge changes in the law of structure. So
Mhm.
the earth is literally, remember in my song when I said it's calling from the great central sun
Yeah.
to join as joy because we are one. So
Yeah.
the sun codes, these solar codes, are calling us back to unity. And
Yeah.
so we literally are being pulled out of the underworld back into our Christed nature. And it wasn't until October of this year that those solar codes were actually coming in. So I wasn't getting them.
Nobody was
So
then.
nobody was getting them.
Well, I love the
So
I
when
love
they,
I love the
yeah,
word you use, purge. I've been over the last 10 days, my little mantra has been purge and surge, but man, I've been purging like crazy, physically, mentally, emotionally. Not so
I
much
know.
emotionally, but the thing is, with this time around, it seems like, because it's been a while this year. This year's been incredible. It's just been every month it gets faster, a wider berth. But
Yeah, this year's been unbelievable. With the equinox in March, it's like we went into this quantum quickening,
yes,
and it's
yes,
just
exactly. What I
been
notice,
nuts.
what I notice
Mhm.
is with my in my own space, and I know I'm just paralleling everybody else, is I'm noticing that it's coming in. There's like pieces of the human dying. The emotional stress or whatever you want to call it comes in and comes out. The clarity is even in the I don't want to say dark moments, but even in these purging moments, the clarity is like getting more and more crystal clear. uh
It is. It is. In September 5th, we connected the Giza pyramids back into Andromeda. And that was a huge, and that really the God code started flooding into the human DNA because Giza was so damaged back in the time of Akhenaten, just incredible damage done to the fourth Stargate, which is the heart, right? The heart of the earth. And so that heart was blocked from its divine mother. And on September 5th, actually, we wove a thread straight from the heart of Giza into the heart of Aquillasha in Andromeda. And after that thread got connected, the God code had a super highway to start coming into the human body. And I don't know about you, but September was it had these ecstatic moments where
yes.
I was out in the sunshine and it was like I was on some like ecstasy
Yeah.
because that sun was like my lover. I mean, I was just singing, come to me, run to me, come to me, lover of mine. I was like in this love affair with the sun. And then I went into the shithole of hell to bring it into my underworld, because it has to come into the lower parts of the self that are unhealed. And
Yeah.
then you're like swimming in some major soup. But then a few days later, I'd be back in the ecstasy. Like I'm just sitting in a Safeway parking lot in the total ghettos of Portland, just total 3D. And I'm just like on some kind of good drug. I don't take drugs. I've never taken
You don't
any drugs.
need
Sudafed
to.
used to whack me out, but
You don't need to. More,
but it was like, so September was that um glimpse of unity.
yeah.
And then October was like, we're glad you had your glimpse. Let's see if, now you're going to the underworld, and you just, yeah,
This, I mean, without getting in personal or specifics,
yeah, yeah.
again, for someone like you, and for those of you who haven't heard her history, you can go back to the top of the show. That's been in the game for so long. What does that What does that look like? Feel like at this stage in the game when you say that in October you took them in the solar codes, but you had to go into the abyss. What does that feel like to someone like you? Was it
Wow.
memories?
So,
Was it memories? Past memories from this life, other
I
lives.
mean,
I
yeah,
mean,
this is huge stuff. So I'm a matrix holder for the absolute rejection and excommunication of Earth from the entire universal time matrix, the absolute black orphan destination of the loss of the Divine Mother.
mm,
I've had 12 lifetimes where I was left to die as an infant. I've had um, I've had lifetimes where I've been incarnated on worlds where I was the only one in my species,
Mm.
and they killed me. So it's the ultimate. See, where the universal stargate back into Divine Mother, where the Divine Mother energy comes back to the earth, is in the core of the underworld. It's, if you think of Demeter and Persephone, right? Persephone is in the underworld, and her Divine Mother has to come to her there. She
Mm.
can't like say, "Oh, sorry, I'm 5 levels up." She has to come into the underworld. So my being and a bunch of beautiful friends that I have are also in this role, is that we are the dismembered daughter and we are the ambassador from Divine Mother, because our life is about linking Divine Mother to her daughter and reclaiming the feminine and rehabilitating the underworld. So on October 5th, I went through the feeling of there's no place for me. This earth doesn't want me. I'm a mistake. And it's mainly triggered by financial crisis. My whole life has been one big effing motherfucking financial hellhole, trying to find a way to bring my gifts to the world,
Yeah.
trying to get paid for what it is I do. But the whole purpose of my life has been total ego disappointment to get me to the underworld so that I could make the link to Divine Mother. So it was never
Beautiful.
about me succeeding.
Yeah.
Only now am I at a point where I'm actually like, I get to go into the world as a singer and as a healer. But up
Yeah.
until now, I've been in 35 years of ego dismantle and
Wow.
failing. I don't like the word failure, but let's just say everything I've tried to do has been dismantled. There's been no role on the earth really that my human self had any success at
Which was
financially. And
which was
that's
taking you
been
down,
hard,
which was taking you down to, so
the
to speak,
underworld.
human terms, but yeah, it was taking you down to the levels I've always gotten from the beginning, because I did understand. I do very clearly understand the abyss and the deepest crevices of hell, because I've got my own stories, but that was early on. But I always understood in those, I walked the streets for 2 years when I woke up, and I always understood that you can only go above the line as far as you've gone below the line. You nothing comes free in the universe. Nobody gets to skip any steps. But that's fascinating. I want to ask you this with your perspective, because I get a little bit, I don't want to say intolerant, but I just don't pay a lot of attention. This whole thing about the event, this point in time when everybody gets hit with this big wave and everybody goes, oh,
We're
aha, everything.
already in it.
That's what I'm saying too. That's what I'm saying.
We're already in it.
we try to
Yeah.
measure everything and explain everything on a linear basis. This has already happened. It's like we're moving in slow motion, if you will, but yeah. So that's
Yeah. I mean,
your
so
take.
Corey Good talks about, the solar sneeze. And he's had a lot of beings um sharing that, showing him the future when this does happen. Um, Brad Johnson also talks about the huge solar event. And the thing is, we're in the window of that event now. It's escalating. I'm trying to get where I can. I don't know. I'm just so excited to talk to you, Todd, that I'm just
I'm
like wanting to
excited
move
too.
around. But yeah. So we're in this. Okay, so part of what I think is happening is everything, all of this purging is literally what we have to do to prepare for these level of solar codes that are increasing. So we're being prepared.
Yeah.
And
We're
so
making
it's,
space, making space. Yeah.
yeah, Brad Johnson says it's 2024. It's the 7-year anniversary of our our 2017 eclipse. 7 years later is when the big solar codes hit and we move into fourth density. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
really, I really don't
I
know,
just,
but
I mean,
it's intense right now.
I try to keep, I keep, abreast. I mean, I don't watch people's entire videos, but I just, because we don't have to. I mean, we can just pick up a book, read 4 pages, and skim through it. We pick it up. This is what we've become. Same with
Oh
videos.
yeah.
But one of the things I noticed, my journey through my lives has been that whole light versus dark thing. And of course, I've accepted it all, balanced it all, and all that. But I have this perspective and this nose for what we might call psyops and that type of thing. And
Hmm.
I've noticed, and I'm a big believer that half of those light worker websites and channels and such are psyops, and they're not as effective as they were. But what I have noticed, and over the last couple of days, is there's 3 or 4 pretty prominent growing channels that are all saying the same thing, and they sound the same. They sound scripted. They sound like the Matrix News, NBC, ABC, CBS. Everybody's reading the same words, So
Yeah.
it's it's
Which
it's it's interesting to me. Go ahead.
which channels are you thinking? Are you talking
I'm
about?
not. I'm not going to say. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to complicate things for people.
I
But
totally understand.
but yeah. So I wanted to get that view from you. Now let me ask you, uh, in terms of going into the underworld, going into the dark night of the soul, the many dark nights of the soul, MINI MANY. As we progress, everything changes. It's proportionate to our awareness, and we consider to know all that. What would you tell people? There's so many people that are starting to wake up. What would you tell people is their best or your best advice to them as we try to navigate this thing in ease and grace? Can it be done?
That's such a huge question. Well, it's all about love.
Yeah.
I mean, the heart is the greatest technology in the entire multiverse.
Yeah.
The human heart, we are we are a divine species. We are a Christed species. What we're seeing on this planet is just an interesting overlay on the
Yeah.
divine blueprint. But our hearts have the ability and the capacity to hold everything
Yeah.
and allow everything to pass through. So it's just like so much about clearing emotions. The simplest way to gracefully move through, quote, negative emotions
Yeah.
is to really say it's okay to feel exactly like this,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That's
to remove, yeah, you know what I mean, to get, so
yeah.
you're not judging any
Yeah.
phenomena, and
Oh,
you're just in that embrace with it.
yeah.
And the thing is, there can be pain body feeding entities that magnify the pain. So
Yeah.
it's a delicate balance. We must allow and love and open our hearts. Deep breathing is super important. EFT is wonderful. It's like free, and it's available to everyone, and you can easily just get into the meridians and basically say it's okay to feel this. I can let this move through my body. I've been through this. Is an active memory of something that has to move through me. Like an emotion is like, in a way, it's like a life form. It has to blossom
Yeah.
to its fullness and then return back to the 0 point. And
Yeah.
we have to get excellent at clearing shadow
Yeah.
and and loving ourselves through it, being with people we love, singing, eating food we love, being with nature, celebrating the beauty that's all around us,
Yeah.
celebrating our love for one another. I mean, the greatest Like, I mean, I have volumes of downloads of scientific stuff that I could say, but I mean, it's all
Yeah.
about loving each other and
It really,
celebrating
yeah. I mean,
each
when you get,
other.
yeah, I love what you say because after all these 30 years that I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine functioning those early years. But but it really is the human. The human is the hero. I mean, the consciousness of the human realizing that divinity. And I was talking to Honey Borden and Michael Abramson today, friends of mine, and I was telling them, I said, Saturday, I woke up, I didn't have anywhere to stay. And I'm over in Sedona, and I'm like, come over here, gangbusters. We're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and I know the universe is with me. And then, boom, and again, it's always tied to the financial, right? So I laid in the bed,
Yep.
and I laid in the bed, and they're like knocking on the door, sir, you have to leave. And I'm like, okay, give me 30 minutes. And so I just called in to ask the universe, and I just said, look, I trust, but right now I'm going to cry and I'm going to feel this. I'm tired. I'm weary. I've been doing this 7 years. I don't
Oh,
understand everything. You know what I mean? But to your point, that was for me, and it wasn't the first time I've done it, but it was the easiest and quickest. And so I shed 10 minutes of tears, and I allowed the emotion to permeate my body. I didn't judge it. I didn't cuss, kick, scream, bitch, moan. I just let it come through. And then I packed my bags. I walked outside, and I told him, like I told him today, I said, I sat in the rain for 3 hours, but something was shown to me, and I had a room the next night, and then the next night, and it starts to build up again. You know what I mean? That self-judgment seems to be a big factor. Morgan's, I have the advantage of, for me anyway, of having her 20 years she's been connected, like you were in 82, 83. But self-judgment seems to be a big in your face kind of thing this month. How do you feel about that?
well, I mean, self-judgment is a huge, I mean, you can't expand when you're judging. You can't allow when you're judging. You can't be connected to love when you're judging. They're diametrically opposed. So I think you just have to love the judger because
But he,
love trumps everything.
yeah.
Pardon the word. I can't say Trump anymore without feeling nauseous, but I used to use it all the time. But it's like, gosh, I mean, it's a big one. I love the gene keys, and judgment is gene key 18.
Mm-hmm.
And the as judgment evolves, it becomes perfection.
Yeah.
That everything is perfect in its own imperfection,
Yeah.
right? It's what it is. And if we resist what is, we will suffer.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
we
right.
have to hold an intention. We can hold an intention like right now. I really want to have my off. I want to get paid for my healing, support myself financially. And yet I have to be with the process as it's unfolding. I
Yeah.
have to allow, I could feel like I'm totally late. Everything's wrong. I'm 53 and I still have never like sold a CD. I don't think I've sold a few CDs, but anyway, but I'm not supporting myself, right? And so I could be like, I'm late. What the hell is wrong with me?
Mhm.
But I have to be trusting
Don't feel bad.
that it
I'm
is
50.
what it is and that,
I'm 56, and
that it's a journey.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, no,
And that
but yeah.
my journey's really slow. My journey demands massive patience because
Yeah.
I literally I'm on the schedule of the logos. I'm not on the schedule of my humanity. I'm on
That's
the
right.
schedule of the unity logos.
Yeah.
My priority is world. We still have to do this. And so anyway, I don't know. I kind of got off.
No. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're just your signal's a little bit. Oh yeah. Let me try to get her back. Let's see here. We've got Sarah Adams 2. Sarah Adams. Oh, there she is. Wrong one. Let me get this one. Okay, she looks good there. All right, hang on. Amazing sister here we've got. What a
Hey,
incredible.
I lost you. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here. Can you hear us?
Are you there, Todd?
Yes, I'm here. You can't hear me?
I wonder what happened to my signal.
We can see you. Let me put a note on here.
Todd,
Yes, we're
there?
here. Yeah, we all see you right now.
I must be frozen.
Yes, you're frozen. That's right. Go out and come back in. Let me put a note on.
Todd, are you there?
Yes. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Go.
Where'd he go?
Out. Come back.
Well, I can see me, but I can't see you.
Can you read that? Go out and come back in.
Him.
Okay, I don't think she can see it. Well, we just have to, make do with what we have. That's what this whole trip's about, isn't it? I know at Soulogy for 7 years, we always seem like I'm always thinking, well, we need this to do that. And bottom line is we don't really need it. Whatever we've got, we can always do something with what we have, where we're sitting at. We can always do that. Let me see if this is her back. Okay, there she is. All right. Okay. All right. You good?
Hey, are we back?
Yeah, you're back. We were watching you walk through. I was just hoping you weren't going to go into some cussing.
Mr. Todd, I don't know what happened.
It's okay.
But I lost you.
No, can you see me now?
Try and go in again.
Oh, you can't see me now. Okay. Yeah, I think what we're dealing with here is some incredibly powerful energies. There's no doubt about it. Let's try her one more time. Here she comes. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, well, she's not coming in. Oh, there she is. Can you hear us?
Sorry about that. I was like,
it's okay.
Frozen in time.
I tell you what we do. Let's do this. We're in an hour already. I would love to get together with you again. I'm over in Sedona. I've got some things I'm working on that I won't talk about. We're in a fairly close proximity, and I'd love to get together with you in person. And we'll talk about that later, but I'd also love to get you back on here. Hopefully you get your laptop fixed. My
computer just crashed today.
Well, we'll talk about it. We'll figure something out. I don't know. Do you feel like doing some light language or some song?
Sure.
You don't need the guitar, because and I know that all the stuff we talked about can't hold a candle to whatever you can present.
Do some light language and see if I can get my phone propped up so I can stand. Okay. And while I'm on here, let's see. If anyone wants to purchase music, they can purchase it at saraadams1.bandcamp.com. I have a lot of music that was just channeled straight through. And then I have some that was recorded in the studio. But there's some beautiful Divine Mother frequencies that come through in the music. And of course, I would love it if you actually purchased it. That would be awesome. Okay.
I'll help you with that. I've got some things I'm working on that can help you with that.
Thank you so much. Okay.
But
make sure, bit of light language.
Make sure that you put your links in the comments section, okay?
Yes, I will. So I do healings, I do past life regression, timeline repair, galactic surgery, channel the living matrix of creation. Pretty much whatever you need, I just tap in and we bring it forward. So I'm doing that. My website's sarahopeadams.com. And let's see, I'll just do a little bit of light language here. I've got my pretty scarf.
Beautiful.
All right. Ishina Song Deletino ekinamashunaneate kalata namase walanosie dinekendo shahala Siangkaradun sartishanana Imalasure Imarasurela Tikam sare malatia Hidikum sale matara Hilikam sare matare Hilo mahe Am surakishan darashitikum naratam santartinakum Ipulatam sarananam shunonokum savratam saratisiknana harama Apulikimana sulukum saratam shore bingdarakm saratam shunme Oh, beloved
Wow.
human family. Beloved human family, know that you are loved, that you are carried in the infinite sea of Divine Mother's love, that you are rewoven into the universal galactic benevolence of your divine birthright. Know that every one of you is loved beyond measure as a universal citizen of the great celebration, royal lineage of the divine. Hold in your heart the memory of the lineage that every one of you is seen and loved. Every one of you is a precious gem in the crown of creation. Every one of you is written into the great book of life as a most precious and glorious being. Do not give up. This is an epic saga, and each one of you is playing a part. Each one of you is a chord in this great divine triumphant symphony that is only beginning its crescendo now. Expect the greatest joy, beauty, and love. Allow the darkness to clear and know that you are being carried in a great tide of universal love that carries each one of you in its heart. You are loved, and you are love.
Wow, that was incredible. You're incredible. Thank you for your
Thank
service.
you, Todd. It's so much
Thank-
fun talking to you.
I know we're gonna have more. I can always tell when, but I got hugely downloaded by all that. Let me get my human back. I know we're going
Yeah.
to, we're going to get together. I've already seen that. There's some stuff I'm working on.
Cool. I'd love to
Yeah.
come to Sedona. I've got a super
Yeah.
good friend in New Mexico and
Sedona's,
Colorado, and
yeah, we've got some stuff happening here. And I also think in your part, the Northwest, Northern California, Oregon, Washington, um, there's some stuff happening. I met Allison Coe last 2 weeks ago. I covered a conference over here, and she's agreed to come on to the show. There's a lot of people over there that are coming into the fold in my path right now. So I just see it. This isn't the human. This is the other part of us that can't put everything into words. But yeah, I'd love to get back together with you again, and I'd love to. Soulogy is a platform for that mother goddess frequency that is coming back that you're talking about. And so we're here to support you. You're protected here. And I do believe that we've got some mechanisms that are falling into place that will help to and assist in your abundance and reward you for the work that you've done for all these years. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of everybody for the service that you've given, not just to humanity, but to the universe. And I look forward to getting together with you again. Yeah.
Thank you, Todd. That's wonderful. Yeah, and I'll send you my links.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to.
You can send them to me, or you can put them in the comments, or both. But if you send them to me, I'll put them out through the network. It takes, and I try to tell people this, and I think they're starting to get it, but it takes, putting stuff out, today, and then 3 days from now, and then a week from now. It takes a little bit of that into that internet divine holy matrix. It takes a while for it to get through to people, but you know what? It's all working out. It's all working out. I think we're all making really good progress. I look forward to the rest of the year. Yeah, I think the rest of the year.
I have, my website is sarahopeadams.com. So that's pretty easy. And that links you to all my music, which my music's on saraadams1.bandcamp.com. So I'll just throw those links out. And I just love for my music to uplift, because it's created, as a love song to humanity during these times. And so the more people that listen, the more the blessing reaches into our divine humanity. So thank you, Todd. Thank you so much for the patience with my crazy technology.
It's okay. That's okay. I'm good with it. You take care. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing space with us and honoring us with your presence and sharing this information with you. I look forward to talking to you again. I'm sure everybody else will too. I think next time we'll move it up a little bit so we can catch really what is the prime hours. This late at night on the West Coast, it's probably
the East Coast is in sleep.
Yeah, and as well as Europe. But next time we'll maybe come in around 3:00 West Coast time, and we'll hit all three markets. We'll hit down under Europe and the States and even India, all four markets. So that's a good time. I'll be reaching out to you. You take care. Thank you so much for sharing space with us and honoring us with your presence.
Thank you, Todd. It's an honor and a blessing. Thanks for all you do for the world. And yes, you're a love. I know I've known you before. It's so familiar.
Yeah, I know. I got that like 2 minutes into this thing. So, all right. Peace out, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with 4 or 5 programs, and maybe I'll get a wild hair tonight and do a radio show. So we'll see. All right. Y'all take care. I'll talk to you soon. All right. I'll reach out to you the next day or two for sure.